Hello everyone, welcome back to Game-Based Learning in the World Language Classroom. The why, the what, the how. We're still on section 2 of my book, The What. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. If you want to discuss this with me, because I really want to get in a deep dive in this section, studio-nemo.com or the Minecraft Education Ambassadors or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge or the Duolingo Educators Network. Still in the middle of Chapter 5, Lessons as Game Tutorials. This is a reaction video, and this is part 2. So I'm going to put, again, this link in the description. I was watching Game Maker's Toolkit, and he had a wonderful discussion on can we improve tutorials for complex games, and the entire time I was watching it, I was shouting at the screen, that is exactly what we do as teachers. So I really want to think deeply about this. All right, Mark Brown's second core truth is tutorials need to be well-paced so as not to get boring. Well, this is the whole argument of the sage on stage, right? We try to keep our lectures and introduction of new information to 10 minutes or less. Sometimes we call this chunk and chew. GLAD, Guided Language Acquisition Development, calls this 10-2, 10/2. Where you have 10 minutes of lecture and then 2 minutes of practice and application. I'm going to suggest 5 minutes of lecture and 5 minutes of practice and application, or better yet, 5 minutes of lecture and then 10 minutes of game being the application of the skill. Can't really get into a game in 2 minutes, you know. So after the mini lecture, be it 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, we need to let students experiment with the concept. So there are structured ways to do this. Structured ways are like, here's a worksheet, or here's a crossword puzzle, okay? Let's break out the mini whiteboards, and I love doing this because the students are all like, yay, mini whiteboard games, and I'm like laughing to myself because there's not really games. They just think it's a game because it's fun, okay? Here's a very structured game, like roll these dice and match it with these words, or draw a card, something very, very structured. Or take them to the computer, do a lesson on Duolingo, do this Quizlet set, let's play Blue-Kit or Kahoot, or whatever. Those are all very structured ways. Semi-structured, here's a role play I'm giving you. You can make up the dialogue, but here's the actual role that you're doing, and here's the words that you need to use within your role play. Okay. Write me a skit using these parameters. So you sit down and write it. Here's some words you have to use. Let's play a game, but it's a very structured game. Draw, label, caption what happened in the story. Draw before, during, and after what happened in the story. These are all semi-structured and they feel very game-like. If you want your students to work on their own, you could give them a choice board. Write me a very open-ended skit, okay? It's got to be about buying clothes in the store, but you do whatever the heck you want. Read this book silently. Maybe answer the questions after. And the questions could be open-ended too. You don't have to was Bob happy or sad to go to the play? No, I hate those kinds of things. Make it more fun. I love doing this. Just give them a comic strip with the words erased and have them add dialogue to it, whatever they want. Okay, so I was able to keep this video fairly short, but I still want to do a deep dive, and we have a lot more to talk about this in my reaction to this video. So put comments down below. I want to engage people in this conversation. All right, so I hope to see you in part 3, Lessons as Game Tutorials.